Hi everyone. In this day and age of having to wear masks when you're inside, it's very difficult. But when you're in office on your own, you can actually remove your mask and talk. I was just waiting for someone to leave the room. Thank you for your questions and sorry about the delay. There's been a lot happening at council at the moment, but we'll go through and have a look at what people are concerned about. Josie Andrews asks, when will Broken Hill be spending the 5.7 million BHP money donated in 2016, and what will it be spent on? Hi Josie, good question. You may not be aware that when we press the pause button for the Plua Moors building as the library, we then had to say to BHP Bulletin Foundation, we're changing the grant allocation. Because remember, we were moving the archives to the basement of council, and then we said, we don't want to rent a building, we want to build our own. So we've been working, keeping in close contact with BHP Bulletin Foundation, and because that is an American-based company, as soon as you change the use, the funding, it has to go back to them, and then once we put in a final submission, we'll be able to allocate that funding. It's really positive, but people at Broken Hill said, please don't rent the Plua Moors building for the library, have one site, and we've done that. So the money will be spent for the archives of Broken Hill that will be at the new library. Josie Andrews asked again, when will the CBD master plan be implemented? Within it, is any additional parking planned, and what is planned for the Kintor Reserve? Last night, Council endorsed the CBD Master Plan, and with that plan, there are many options for Council to consider. One of them, in terms of parking, was around the way we angle our parking. If you and I go to Coles or Woolworths, it's a 90-degree parking, and what we know is as soon as you bring those angles around, it increases parking in the area. So we'll be looking at that, certainly looking at the spaces in Glen Street for parking options and making sure they are part of the CBD master plan. In terms of the Kintor Reserve, that is now being used by the New South Wales Police. It'll be the new police station. And finally, the conservation, the museums and conservation, looking at the picnic train has been moved down to the Queen Elizabeth Park. Queen Elizabeth Park is a really good home for the picnic train. It's got trees. Anybody who's been on that picnic train knows it was a barren Kintor Park area. It'll have trees and lots of areas and play areas for kids. It'll be more attractive for families to go down for an old-fashioned picnic and go on the train. So I'm looking forward to that final area of parking and making sure that for our businesses in Argent Street and those other CBD areas, that people can come and park, do their shopping and enjoy that space. Heidi Adams writes, who checks on the roadworks when completed, or did council want speed humps just randomly on road surfaces? Heidi, if you want to send us more details about where those ones are, they do get checked off. Council isn't the only one who does roadworks. The RMS does roadworks as well. So send us a bit more detail about that. And when you put up questions, it's really handy just to put, that detail about there's a problem here and we can have a look at it. Georgina Stevens, wondering when roofs are getting done on council buildings and the Silver City Roller Skating Club. Georgina, most of the roofs have been done on council buildings over the last 12 months, and I'm not sure about the Silver City Roller Skating Club. I'm going to get on to our infrastructure team and find out about that one, and we'll send you a message in Messenger about that to make sure you're aware of it. I'll just find out about that one. Maureen Tweedy and Pamela Merkins would like to know when the footpaths on Wilson Street side of Patton Park are going to be restored. Look, Council's been working hard trying to connect these key parts of the city, especially around schools, parks, aged care and other areas over the last 8 months. It's a big project. It's going to be a long project, but Patton Park area is in that area. And so what I'm going to do is just check the date line and ask our infrastructure staff if they can put a plan together so we can tell the public, so they can go online and check when that work's being done. Because it's near a park, I'll ask straight away if that can be moved as a priority as well. Thank you for that and letting us know. Renee Zamet said, why is the North Family Play Centre and the Broken Hill Aquatic Centre in darkness? Is it it's pitch black early morning and evening? Well, I can't actually answer this one directly, but again, I'm going to get our infrastructure team to have a look at that. I know a lot of people go to swimming lessons down there very early in the morning, and so I'll ask our infrastructure team to have a look at that with Essential Energy, because although it's council building, Essential Energy controls the lights in that area. Michael Bird asked, I would like to know if council has put in for any grants on offer to fix the disgraceful change rooms and toilets that both the men and the women use at the Alma Oval. Has anyone from council actually looked at them lately? The Oval is maintained fantastic and it's a credit to your garden team. Just needs better facilities, especially now the women's use these change rooms as well. Michael, you'd be pleased to know I've actually been down there and had a look at those change rooms. When we went down, I went down with the general manager and looked at whether we could put new lights up at Alma Oval. Walked into the change rooms and was quite shocked. So I asked our team to start looking at grants to actually put them together. We need to talk to the other sporting areas like the cricket and that to make sure they're supportive of this. I have no doubt they will, because they're a disgrace. I'm always disappointed, we have committees to advise us about our poor infrastructure, and when we don't get that information, it's got so bad, it is a disappointment. But I've seen that. I've asked the GM to escalate that. I'm a big supporter of women's sport, certainly, football. So let's see what we can do. We've got the lights up. I'm glad you're pleased about the ovals. Let's get this infrastructure in for those change rooms. Sue Minist asks, I have a question. Why is it that so many cars, caravans and trailers are parked on footpaths? I'm sure it's against the law, but nothing seems to be changing. So if you see a car, caravan or trailer on a footpath, please ring council straight away, give them the address, and we'll get our rangers out there. It is against the law. It blocks anybody walking past. If there's an emergency, fire, often they're on fire hydrants. I know it's happened in my area, and so it is a big problem. Ring the rangers. We'll send the ranger out to have a look at this. And if anybody's listening and you've got cars parked on there, please get them off. If you're having trouble with them, give council a call. But it is illegal, and we really need that area, not only to beautify the front of your house and your neighbours, but also people need to walk past and use the footpath, and quite often emergency services need to use that. Thank you for that, Sue. Georgina Stevens asks, are all streets going to be having beautiful footpaths under the current works happening around town? Is there a current map outlining streets getting the upgrades? Thank you, Georgina, for the kind words. The Footpaths program is being rolled out over quite a few years, but what I'm going to ask my team is if they can put a map together to ensure that you could go online and see when the footpaths are going to be done in your area. This is a lack of infrastructure over many years, and I'm pleased as Mayor that we're able to deliver this footpath program. I'm getting great responses, and please have patience. It hadn't been done for some time. We're going to get there, and if you've got a particular footpath that hasn't been targeted, please let us know so that we can incorporate it into the program. Sometimes it may be that one particular area has been crumbled. Someone told me recently some truck went on their footpath area, please get in contact with us. We really want to make sure that we improve the accessibility of our community, that people can walk around their streets. In fact, I had one of our ladies ring me from out the south, and she told me that it's the first time in a long time that she's been able to walk to her son's place and feel safe. So we're really pleased to deliver that, and my thanks to staff. And we'll get on to having a plan so you can see how the rollout's going and when it will be done. So thank you. Last question, Kirsty Murray. I look after my own footpath. Seems to be a trend this meeting. I look after my own footpath and keep it weed-free and neat and tidy, but I would like to know, when driving around our town, council doesn't maintain weeds and tall, dry grasses on medium strips, footpaths, roundabouts and other sides of the road. Thanks, Kirsty. This is a real issue for us. You know, our staff are very limited overall, from whether it's admin, library or in the yard. We've only got around 160 staff. We try to do our best. We asked everybody in the community, they're responsible for the front of their own house, as we say. I know that our GM is looking at a big cleanup program, and I've certainly taken him around and said, you know, those medium strips between, you see them in areas like Ross Street and that, where they're like a medium strip in the middle of the road, they need cleaning up. So the GM is looking at that, but can I ask everybody just to take time to clean up out of the front of your own yard? It makes you feel better. It makes me feel better when my husband does it. I shouldn't joke about this because he will listen to this and agree. But you know, it does do something about how you feel when you go to your own home. And it talks about Broken Hill pride and how we are a town that does have great pride, and sometimes it's been a little bit tough lately. I think, you know, every time we hear about COVID, we have to mask up, and sometimes we're a bit down, we're staying home. Take this time when you're home to look after your own yard. And I'll ask the GM about, especially the roundabouts. I took him on a road trip, showed him the roundabouts and how they need to be improved. I showed him those medium strips and areas that council can get in and get the job done. But we're not alone, we need your support as well. That's the questions for this interview. I thank you all, and thank you for your patience. Remember about the current public health order, about wearing masks. It's a tough one, but I know Broken Hill, we can do it. Thanks everyone.